Everyone, welcome to my video. Today is Monday. A new week has arrived. Hope we all have a nice working week. Now today is exercise number 9, and now come to my first story. It is about this picture, and here is Tom. He is a teacher, and now Tom want to share with you a tip. Okay, how to stop translating into your native language. Okay, by the way, I want you to know that the content in this video, of course, I didn't come up that idea, but I make the reference to the internet, because I find that it is very interesting, so I want to share with you. So listen to me. Today I'm going to give you some advice on how to stop translating into your native language. Okay, because a lot of people have this problem. I've asked a lot of English learners and learners of other languages, and they say I would be able to speak so much more influently if I could stop translating. Okay, well, the first tip I will give you, and this will not apply to everyone, that is, don't start in your first place. Let me tell you, and let me explain more to you. So if you are at like a beginner level of English, some translation is inevitable. I mean that you're going to do it. Okay, the way we learn in school, that is yellow, vàng, orange, cam, purple, tím, right? But think back to when you were a child, when you were a baby. Okay, how did you acquire your first ever language? It means your mother tongue, right? And we learn through observing, watching, seeing, smelling, tasting, and watching accents. We didn't learn through translation, right? Because you had nothing to base your translation on, right? You had no mother tongue, right? And that brings me on to point number 2. Okay, so that is now grab your bilingual dictionary and throw it out of window. Okay, don't do that because it might land somebody's head. Just pick up it, just play it to one side carefully, and then now pick up your monolingual dictionary and another dictionary, that is the dictionary in the language that you are learning. In many of your cases, it would be English. Okay, and now I start letting the language define itself. Okay, with words like nouns and verbs. Okay, they are a little difficult to understand, so you should learn through observation. Yes, and with adjectives or adverbs, you try to understand the definition in the language that you are learning. Okay, and because what you are doing is training yourself to think in the language that you are learning. Okay, now that brings me on to the point number 3, and in this tip I want to talk more about speaking and thinking. Well, actually, I always recommend that you should start speaking out loud to yourself. Yes, in that language. Do you know that speaking to yourself is a really key factor to train you to think in that language. Yes. For example, with English, okay. Now, for example, I'm riding my motorbike. I can, while I'm making with my motorbike, I say, okay, now I'm pushing my car away from home, and then I reach into my pocket and I pull out a bunch of keys, and then I insert the keys into the lock of the motorbike. I turn it on and I press the start button, and then I accelerate, I turn left, or I take a right turn, for example, or take a right turn, etc. And moreover, when I'll be pottering around the kitchen. Potter means that you do something or you move. You do things or move without hurrying, especially when you are doing something that's not important. It means potter. I'll be pottering around the kitchen, cooking and cleaning, and talking to myself what I'm doing. Okay, and now you will start to notice your errors, especially when you hear what you're saying. And once you're comfortable speaking to yourself, and in private, in the language, move to starting to think. I always think that speaking should become before thinking. That's just my opinion, because everyone has different ways to learn, right? But I always recommend, I personally think that speaking should come before thinking, because it is easier to spot. Spot means you realize, you see, you easily spot. Spot means S is spelled S-P-O-T, means you see, you recognize, and especially subtly situation. And so because when you are speaking out loud, it's easier to spot your errors, and of course, I think speaking also gets comfortable. Yes, it's comfortable when you're speaking out loud. Okay, by thinking in English. Now I want to talk more about thinking. When I'm thinking English, I intend to describe people. For example, when I see some people walking, on the street, I think to myself in our head something like that. Oh, that man is walking. He is walking down the street. Or I just think about myself. For example, I'm getting off the bus. Okay, I'm going to go to the shop, etc. You're just starting to immerse. Immerse is a beautiful word, and that also brings me to on the tip number 5. That number 5, immersion. What does it mean? Immersion means that to become or to make something involved completely in something. Okay, some immersion is it means it's something like you do multitasking. Multitasking means that you do many jobs, many tasks at the same time. multitasking. You do multitasking means you do a lot of jobs or tasks at the same time. Well, for example, when I'm doing something that doesn't require 100% concentration, like cleaning or cooking, like cleaning, okay, doesn't require a 100% concentration, like cooking or cleaning. Okay, and I always have something on the background. So cleaning, cooking, or washing the cars, etc. Any task that allows you to listen to something at the same time while you are doing something else. Okay, so having something on in that language and in the background, I think it's something like it just like I'm saying that is revolutionary, right? But it's true, and remember, don't forget to do it. Okay, and you can, because you can waste your time. Okay, everyone have the same time in a day, 24 hours per day, right? But the person who can make the most of their time, I think is easier to get rich, because we have a lot of tasks, jobs doing in the same time in one day. So when you can make the most, when you take advantage of your time, you can do many things, do many jobs, task in only one day, okay, rather than other people that they waste their time. So try to have something on in the background. It means that you can do your task, and by the way, and at the same time you can train yourself to get used to the pronunciation or accent of English or the language that you are learning. So by having something on in the background, you will be getting used to pronunciation and the accent. By listening and concentrating on what you're learning, you will be familiarizing yourself with certain grammar or vocabulary, and but also you will be noticed where you are lacking. Okay, so remember, 20 minutes a day, not just even listening is so much more valuable. It's so much more valuable than 140 minutes only one day. Okay, remember? So always remember that. Make a general immersion, and try to think and speak throughout the day. Please make it part of your routine. Make it become automatic to you. Okay, it's also the final part of my first story